On today's episode of the Gamer Girl podcast, Elizabeth discusses her top 5 Ice-type Pokémon. Hey everybody, I hope you're doing well today. So, top 5 Ice-type Pokémon. I'm going to be doing my list and what I think the top 5 Ice-type Pokémon should be. If you agree with the list, great. If you don't, let me know what Pokemon you think should be on this list, or if I need to change up the order at all. So, one thing I wanted to bring up, I'll talk more about it at the end, but the podcast is now on YouTube. So, who knows, maybe you're listening to this episode on YouTube. But feel free to go check that out, and like I said, I'll talk more about that at the end. So, without further ado, my top 5 Ice-type Pokemon, my number 5 is Cubchoo, and for some reasons why, it's adorable, super cute. It's literally, the design behind it is a bear with a cold. The little snot bubble it has adds to the effect of it. It first appeared in Black and White and Black 2, White 2 in the Unova region. So, one thing I found very interesting is its dex entry, which for Black, the dex entry is, when it is not feeling well, its mucus gets watery and the power of its ice-type moves decreases. And then in Black 2, White 2, which have the same dex entry, it says, their snot is a barometer of health. When healthy, their snot is sticky and the power of their ice moves increases. So basically, if the Cubchoo has a lot of snot, I guess, and it's really thick, the snot's really thick, it's very powerful ice-type moves, so I guess colds make them more powerful. Sword and Shield basically have the same thing. Sword's dex entry for it is when this Pokemon is in good health, its snot becomes thicker and stickier. It will smear its snot on anyone it doesn't like. So it adds a little to it, but it basically is talking about the same thing as the Black and White entry about where the Pokemon, when it's healthy, has thicker, stickier snot. But I thought Cubchoo was pretty cute because of the whole design scheme. Like I said before, it's literally a bear with a cold. I really liked it. Like I said, the little snot bubble adds to the effect of it having a cold. So yeah, overall, cute design. So, moving on. Number 5 was Cubchoo. Number 4 is Glaceon. So the reasons I like Glaceon is because I think its design is super cute. With its hat, if you're here blinking, that's my cat. My cat decided to join me today, so if you hear something in the background, it's probably my cat. Anyway, so number 4, Glaceon. Design is cute. I really like its hat, how it has like the little wintry hat. Super cute. I really like how it's an evolution because I really like all the evolutions. I think they're pretty cool. Glaceon was first released and first appeared in Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, which is the Sinnoh region. And Glaceon was introduced with Leafeon in Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. And I'm sure it's in BDSP, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. And Shining Pearl because it first appeared, which super, really liking that game. I don't know what, I think I was trying to confirm super great, and I like the game. But, anyway. So, yeah. Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. Glaceon first appeared in Sinnoh region with Leafeon. Really like the design of it because of how it has the little winter hat. And I like all of the evolutions pretty much, so. Yeah. That kind of adds to the effect of it. So, number 4 was Glaceon. Number 3, where I'm just moving right through these. Number 3 is the Alolan variant of Ninetales. I really like its design. I really like how fairy, its other typing is fairy, but how fairy tale looks. Honestly, I think it kind of looks like a cloud. It's one of the many Alolan variants. Which, one thing I found interesting is how you have Alolan Ninetales, which is an ice type. And then you also have the Alolan Sandshrew and Alolan Sandslash, which are both ice types. I just found that kind of interesting. How they took 2 Kanto Pokemon and made them ice types for their Alolan variants. But I think I really like Alolan Vulpix. I like Alolan Ninetales more, and I thought it would kind of be off to have 2 Pokemon of the same evolution line on the same list, so I put just Alolan Ninetales on here. Like I said, I like the dual typing, how it's a fairy type. I really like the design overall, how it looks like a cloud. I feel like Alolan Vulpix looks more like a cloud. Alolan Vulpix is cuter, just because it's a little ball of fluff. And then Alolan Ninetales is an evolved. It's less cute, but it's still really pretty and majestic and all that whatnot. Can't really think of too much else to say about that. Ninetales first appeared in the Kanto region as a fire type, which is another thing I really found interesting, was how you had Alolan Ninetales as an ice type, ice fairy type, and normal, Cantonian, I guess. I hope I said that right. Feel free to let me know if I said that wrong, but, tell me the right pronunciation, but Cantonian Ninetales, the original Ninetales, is a fire type, and I found it cool how it was kind of the inverse type, because fire and ice are kind of the inverse of one another to some extent. But anyway, I really liked that part of it, so that was number 3 is Ninetales. I will tell you the rest of mine after the break. And we're back from the break. Gonna just get right back into it. So number 3 was Alolan Ninetales. And next is number 2, which I was kind of debating on having a legendary on here or not, and I ended up putting a legendary because I figured, you know what? It's not a true boxer legendary, but it's still a legendary. And I really like this Pokemon. My number 2 is Regice. If you did not know already, I've mentioned it before on the podcast, is my first Pokemon game was Alpha Sapphire, so I'm a Hoenn. Hoenn's like my favorite region. If you listen to Top 5 Pokemon regions, you know that. Hoenn was my number 1 region. And so Hoenn's my main region, so that's part of the reason I chose Regice. I really like the design of it, how it's literally an icicle. Basically, one little fun fact I thought I'd let you know is I named my Regice Elsa. Well, so I could get Regigigas, because you have to name the Regice, nickname it, so I named mine Elsa for reasons I'm sure you can guess. Regice first appeared in the Hoenn region, in Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. Like I said, Alpha Sapphire was my first Pokemon game. Oh my goodness. And I really like Regice's overall design. I also like how, it was originally part of the trio, the Regi trio, and then they added Regigigas and Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. And then they later, in the Crown Tundra DLC for Sword and Shield, they then added Regidrago and Regieleki, which just goes to show how awesome the Regis are, by the way. But I really like Regice, like the design of it. One thing that's very interesting is it says it's made of ice. And so it's kind of like, is ice the flesh of Regice? Or is Regice made out of ice? Anyway, just a little theory right there I've kind of seen put out there. Not really officially, but just kind of mentioned a little about Regice, like its actual makeup. So number 2 is Regice. Number 1 is, I'm probably totally butchering the name, but Auroras, I want to say, the ice rock dual type that first appeared in XY, in the Kalos region. One thing I like about Auroras is it's majestic. It's like tough and beautiful at the same time. It's very large, because it's a dinosaur. But it's one of the fossil Pokemon that you can get in X and Y. Maybe the only one that was introduced in X and Y. I have not played at X and Y yet. I'm looking into playing X and Y. So that's part of the reason I'm not 100% sure about it. But anyway, Auroras, fossil Pokemon. I found its Pokédex entry in Sword very interesting. Auroras was restored from a fossil. It's said that when this Pokemon howls, auroras appear in the sky. So, Aurora Borealis. Found that really interesting. And Shield has a very interesting sword entry too. It's kind of a little bit of the opposite. Not as pretty, but majestic, I guess. When gripped by rage, auroras will emanate freezing air, covering everything around it in ice. That's the Shield entry. And then also in the X entry and the Omega Ruby entry, it says, the diamond-shaped crystals on its body expel air as cold as negative 240 degrees Fahrenheit, surrounding its enemies and encasing them in ice. And so I found that really interesting. And how it's very cold. Probably don't want to get too close to those crystals. And for those of you who use Celsius, negative 240 degrees Fahrenheit is roughly negative 151.1 degrees Celsius. So, yeah, it's very cold. You probably don't want to get too close to those crystals on Auroras' back. Also, it says with Ultra Moon, this usually quiet and kindly Pokemon has a surface temperature of around negative 240 degrees Fahrenheit. Again, that's roughly 151.1 degrees Celsius. So, I really like its overall design, though. If you didn't know this, it's revived from a sail fossil. The sail fossil. And you can evolve it from, Amara is revived from the sail fossil. And then Amara can be evolved into Auroras at night, starting at level 39. Both Amara and Auroras are dual types, being rock and ice. The rock comes from them being a fossil type Pokemon. So like I said before, I really like its design. It's very pretty, very majestic looking. So my list was from 5 to 1. Number 5 was Cubchoo. Number 4 was Glaceon. Number 3 was Alolan Ninetales. Number 2 was Regice. And number 1 was Aurorus. So, yeah, those are all mine. I have a couple honorable mentions that I'm going to say. First honorable mention is Frost Rotom, which is, I thought it looked very interesting. How it's literally a refrigerator. It's literally a refrigerator. So that's kind of cute. But trying to see if I can find an interesting dex entry. So anyway, what you do is you take Rotom, normal Rotom, and you take normal Rotom, and I know in Sword and Shield it's the magazine, and it'll observe like the refrigerator part of the magazine, and it'll turn into a refrigerator. I don't know if I would want to be storing any goods in there, though. But it's an ice-electric type. Dual typing. Next is Glastrier. Personally, I really like Glastrier's design. It's the ice horse that was introduced in the Crown Tundra DLC for Sword and Shield. It's the other horse that you can get instead of Spectrier, which is the ghost horse. So, Glastrier, really like its design. Well, it's also a horse, so that's kind of cool. I like horses. The next honorable mention is Castform's Snowy form. Part of the reason I didn't have Frost Rotom and Castform on here is because there are special forms of it. Technically, I did have Alolan Ninetales, but that's a specific species. Whereas Rotom, Frost Rotoms, and Snowy form of Castform have to have special conditions. Which I guess does apply to other Pokemon. You have to have special conditions. But anyway, they come from a main Pokemon, which I guess Ninetales switch. So this isn't really helping my argument. But anyway, Castform, like I said, I'm a Hoenn. Hoenn was my original game, first Pokemon game. So, Castform, I really like its Snowy form. It's shiny, since they recently added shiny forms for all the different forms, I'm pretty sure. Its shiny is really cool. Next, honorable mention is Articuno. Ice Flying dual type, originally from the Cancer region, so it's one of the original Pokemon. It got a really cool Galarian form in the Crown Tundra DLC, but that's a psychic flying type, so can't be even honorable mentioned on this list. But Articuno, really cool part of the 3-bird trio of Kanto, as well as Zapdos and Moltres. Which I think it's kind of interesting how they had a fire, electric, and then an ice type as a trio. But anyway, Articuno, really pretty, really like it. Another honorable mention is Lapras, which is also another Pokemon originally in the Kanto region. Almost had Lapras on the list. Didn't make the cut, though. Barely didn't make the cut. Lapras has a really pretty Gigantamax form in, Sword and Shield, and I really like that its form. It's also really cool, though, because its Gigantamax entry talks about how it ferries people on its back when it's Gigantamax, which I found is pretty cool. I'm pretty sure it says something like that. So I really like Lapras, and then my last honorable mention is Frostlass. I really like the idea behind it. It's an Ice Ghost dual type. Only it comes from Snorunt, and only female Snorunt can evolve into Frostlass. And then male and female Snorunt can evolve into Glalie. And then Glalie has a Mega Evolution. Glalie, I feel like, looks kind of cool, too. In Frostlass, you can see how it looks similar to Glalie. So that was my top 5 Ice-type Pokemon. Again, I had from 5 to 1. 5 was Cubchoo. Number 4 was Glaceon. Number 3 was Alolan Ninetales. Number 2 was Regice. And number 1 was Aurorus. Again, if I pronounced anything wrong, feel free to let me know. Again, podcast is on YouTube. Feel free to go check that out. Subscribe, I would suggest. So, and also, for starting with this episode, I've designed a special cover for the episode, a special photo to have while it plays. So, if you like that, feel free to let me know. Feel free to give me ideas for future episodes. That always is nice, because then I don't have to think of an episode, but I have a whole list, but it's just always great when if you guys would let me know an idea you have. Anyway, so yeah, top 5 Ice-type Pokemon. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. I wish you all a Merry Christmas, and I hope you all enjoy yourselves. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, but I hope you all have a great time. Merry Christmas. Bye, everybody.